Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. To anybody that subscribed recently, thank you very much and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to spend some time in the Gunsmith menu and specifically look at the eye position tuning on the optics. So if anybody doesn't know, once you've fully ranked your weapon to its max level, you unlock the tuning options which allow you to tweak various parameters on the weapons. You can't do this for all attachments such as lasers or magazines, but there's enough to play with here to keep you busy once you've fully maxed your weapon and you've settled on a particular build. So if we look at the optics, you've got the eye position slider down at the bottom. The default setting is dead center, and then you can either make the eye position closer to the weapon or further away. Now I was doing this between games and I couldn't really tell the difference, so I thought it would be much better to compare the settings back to back, which we'll do now. So we've got the M4 here, and this is fitted with the SZ Mini optic, which can be unlocked by leveling the P890 handgun to level 4. And it's just worth making a note here that my FOV is set to 105, the ADS FOV is set to affected, and the weapon field of view is set to wide. The eye position here is set to as close as it can be, at plus 2.25 inches. We're at the default setting now, so you can see the gun has moved further away from the screen or eye position. And finally we are now at minus 2.25 inches, which is the furthest away that it can be from the screen. Now if we switch quickly between the close and far position, you can see that the weapon will take up different amounts of space on the screen. Now I'm sure everyone's had this at some point where you're aiming down sight in a match and your gun actually blocks the view of an enemy, putting you at a disadvantage. Now this could vary depending on the weapon designs and what parts of the weapon actually move into your view as you change the setting, but generally as long as you're happy with the size of that optic on the screen, I would think that further away may just give you that little bit of an advantage. Moving on, we now have the VLK 4x optic fitted to the gun, and this is unlocked by getting the Kastov 762 to level 4. So as before, we're checking out the closest setting, the default setting, and finally the furthest setting. And here's a quick comparison between the closest and the furthest. Once again you can see that the closest silhouette of the gun is much larger than the furthest silhouette. But remember, to get that additional screen space around the weapon, you do get a tighter view through the optic. To round out this video, we have the MW2 optic, which is an 8x optic. This optic looks really nice and narrow around the edges compared to that chunky VLK, so that's also something you need to consider when you're choosing an optic. And to unlock this, you need to get the Lachman 762 to level 2. Once again, we can see the closest option, the default eye position, and the furthest position. And we'll do another quick comparison here between the closest and the furthest, including the silhouettes. This is how much smaller the scope appears when you've got it set to the furthest distance. Now in theory, at least when I'm thinking about it, if the gun is further away from us, then we should get less visual recoil. Now if I can figure out how to test that, then I'll put a video together. One more thing to be aware of with this, I've covered the visual aspect of changing this tuning setting, but if you look at the attributes of the gun, as we're moving this slider, the accuracy is changing very slightly. With it being such a minimal amount, I don't know whether you will actually notice that during gameplay, but it is something you need to be aware of. If you've got this far, thank you very much for watching the video. If you found it useful, please drop a like down below, put any queries you've got in the comments, and subscribe if you'd like to see some more.